Okay, I think we are live. Good evening, students. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hope you are doing well. How are you? Hope you are doing well. Okay, today we are going to start with the CA Inter Audit Bullet Revisions. Right now, for the next 1 hour, I am going to cover Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 of the Bullet Revision. After exactly at let's say 8:30, we'll be starting Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 revision. So 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, Chapter 1 and 2 revision. And after that, 8:30 to 9:30, Chapters 3 and 4 revision will be done of CA Inter Audit. Now, how have I thought about this? I'll just explain in short, and then after that, we can, study in our own unique manner. First of all, I'll be ensuring that all the concepts, it is there in your mind properly. So we'll be first seeing the concepts clearly, whether you have understood the concept, and I'll be explaining each concept in short in a bullet revision format. After that, regarding every concept that we learn, I'm going to tell you all the questions that have been asked by ICAI from those concepts. Now, from where did I pick up the questions of ICAI? I have taken up the questions from the past papers, the revision test papers, and of course, the mock test papers. Now, these questions I'll be seeing in a proper organized manner. Okay, let's do the first chapter together, and I'm very sure after that you will understand the format with which this revision will go forward. Okay, let's start. Now, chapter 1 revision, let's start this. Okay, first you can see here that is the set 1 of CA Inter Audit Chapter 1, that is nature, scope and objectives of audit, right? In that, in set 1, I have put 5 answers. First is qualities of an auditor. Second is auditor shall satisfy himself regarding which matters. What should the auditor satisfy himself with? Third is aspects covered in the process of auditing. Fourth is scope of audit. And at the end, you have objectives of audit. This is in set 1 of chapter 1. Now, let's just understand these concepts in short. Qualities of an auditor means basically what qualities the auditor should have. Okay, I'll tell you a quick story. Okay, now let's see whether you are able to understand that story. Imagine a person, let's take a cricketer, okay, and you must be knowing Rohit Sharma. Okay, Rohit Sharma is a cricketer, correct? So imagine Rohit Sharma. Now, Rohit Sharma, what happened is he has a lot of qualities within him. He is very honest person. He is a person who has very good temperament. Temperament matlab doesn't get angry that much. Are you understanding? Doesn't get angry that much. He has lot of patience also. Okay. So imagine a person called as Rohit Sharma. Now Rohit Sharma, what he does is that Rohit Sharma, he is a good businessman. So he wants to start a business basically. So because he feels that he has good businessman like qualities. So he wants to start a business. Now you should understand, to start a business, and to earn profit, you first need to have knowledge. You need to have knowledge. Only if you have knowledge, you can then go and increase your, business profitability, business sales, all this you can increase. So first of all, you need knowledge. And only after knowledge, you will get the growth. You will get the growth. Okay. That is basically you will be able to attain heights. Simple. What did we learn today? We need a person like Rohit Sharma. Correct. Rohit Sharma is a very honest person. He has a very good temperament. Correct. After that, the second point is basically Rohit Sharma wants to start a business. In business, you first need lot of knowledge. And after gaining knowledge, you will attain the heights. Okay. Now remember, even if you have reached the top level, you need 2 things to grow, so that people feel that you are a good person. That is, you need to have integrity and independence. Integrity means a person who is strong with his principles, a person who doesn't compromise on his principles. And independence is basically a person who does not come under the pressure of somebody else. Okay. Now just tell me the story and we understand that. I want everybody to participate and tell me the story. Bolo. First point will be what? First is Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma is a person who is an honest person. He is a person who has lot of what? Integrity, temperament. All these qualities are there in him. Okay. Rohit Sharma wants to start a business. But to start a business, first of all, you need what? You need knowledge, yaar. You need knowledge. And after getting that knowledge, then only you will be able to attain the heights. Then only you will be able to attain the heights. Clear? Simple till here. After you attain the heights, still you need to have two things: integrity and independence. Integrity and independence. Simple. See, in this simple memorizing technique, we have done one answer completely, and that is qualities of auditor. Qualities of auditor. Imagine if I have an entire batch with you, and where I am able to teach you with these kind of stories, songs, memorizing techniques, which are fun to learn. You will score excellent marks in audit. Okay. So that is just an example in relation to qualities of an auditor. Now, what does the second answer mean? It says auditor shall satisfy himself regarding which matters. So here you will see that what should the auditor be satisfied with. In this, see, there are only two main points. First is books of accounts. Auditor should be happy with the books of accounts. And second is the auditor should be happy with the financial statements. If the auditor is happy with the books of accounts, if the auditor is happy with the financial statements, then we will say, boss, auditor is satisfied. Then we will say that the auditor is satisfied. Simple. Simple till here. The third point here is, see this, see the third answer. Aspects covered in the process of auditing. What all aspects does auditing cover? Now, this includes regulatory requirements, reporting should be proper, financial statements, balance sheet, and profit and loss account should be checked properly. All these points are covered in this answer. Correct. Internal control. So, Abhijit has given a good answer. Internal control. You are absolutely right, Abhijit. Next, you have a scope of audit. Scope of audit has a lot of points. Few points I'll just say in this bullet revision. First of all, there should be no constraints on the auditor. There should be no constraints. Nobody should tell the auditor, boss, you cannot check this, you cannot check that. All this should not happen. Easy. Last is you have objectives of audit. Basically, what is the goal of the auditor? There are simple two things. See, first goal of the auditor is to obtain the reasonable assurance level. He has to reach the reasonable assurance level. And the second, it basically is that the auditor should report as per the standards on auditing. So what are the 5 points or answers in this first part? You have qualities of auditor. You have auditor should satisfy himself regarding which matters. Aspects covered in the process of auditing is the third answer. Scope of audit is the fourth answer. And objectives of audit is the fifth answer. Very simple till here. Very easy. Now you have to understand, sir, how will I know which answer is what in the exam? So that is the main thing. No, many students tell me, sir, auditing, sir, I understand. Auditing, sir, I'm very good with. I understand everything, sir, in auditing. But sir, when the exam situation comes, no, sir, my hands become like this, sir. It becomes very, sir, I shiver. I don't understand how to answer. So that is why today I'm going to help you all with the past questions of ICAI. Imagine if you are strong with the RTP questions, mock test paper questions, and the questions asked by ICAI in the exam of CA in the auditing. If you are good with that, then you are unstoppable because you know exactly how ICAI can trick you. What kind of questions can come in the exam? I hope you are able to understand. Okay. Now let's see. First question. GST and Company, a firm of chartered accountants, has been appointed to audit the accounts of XYZ Limited. Okay. So GST is a CA firm. They have been appointed to do the audit of XYZ Limited. Okay. The partner wanted to cover principal aspects. See what word they have used. Principal aspects while conducting its audit of financial statements. Advise those principal aspects. Now I want you to answer. Tell me if this answer is number 1, if this is number 2, if this is number 3, if this is number 4, and this is number 5. Can you quickly tell me which answer will you write in the exam? Can you please tell me which answer will you write in the exam? Fantastic Saloni, fantastic Santosh, fantastic Parth, fantastic Abhijit. What about others? Where are the others? Why aren't you replying? Where are you? Okay. Okay. So this is basically the principal aspects is nothing but your answer number 3. So I am just putting number 3 here. You identified it. Next, Principal aspects to be considered by an auditor while conducting an audit of financial statements of accounts. Here also you will see principal aspects. So again, answer number 3 only. See the way ICI has asked it. See the way they have asked it. First in a different manner, second in a different manner. But the answer is the same. It is aspects. Okay. Next question. Explain the overall objective of the auditor as contained in essay 200. Can you tell me which is the answer? Can you tell me which is the answer? One question has come here, sir. One question is to you. When will you commence the plus batch for CA inter students? I'll be announcing regarding the plus batch. I'll be informing that. At the end of this session, I'll inform everything. Okay. Okay, the answer is overall objectives. The answer is overall objectives. That is basically answer number 5. Answer number 5. Okay, next is Lord Justice Lindley, in the course of the judgment in the famous London and General Bank case, has secondly summed up the overall view of what an auditor should be as regards the personal qualities. Explain stating also the qualities of auditor. Can you tell me what is the answer here? Simple. See, you are able to answer so fast. Okay. Easy to understand. Okay, next one. SWM is a proprietorship firm engaged in the manufacturing of different kind of yarns. And see here, no, they have told a very big story here. From here till here, they have just said a story. Some random company, whatever is happening in the company, they have given that. Last, they have mentioned the main point that we need. They have written here, advice regarding the principal aspects, any 4, to be covered in getting the accounts audited. Itna lamba kahani, such a big story. And in the end, they have given you just to write the principal aspects. They have written a big story. In the end, it's like a Bollywood movie, you know. In Bollywood, they tell you a big story, you know, from the beginning, girl's family, boy's family, they want to get married and everything they will say. In the end, even we know that they are both going to get married only. Kitna bhi jhagda ho, how much ever they fight, whatever happens, but in the end, they are going to get married only to each other. Barabar. So similarly, you will see here that is the principal aspects, that is any 4. So basically here also the answer will be what? Answer number 3. Answer number 3. All the students, set 1 questions, very, very simple. Set 1 questions, very, very simple. Please tell me. Very easy to understand. Very easy to understand. Okay, chalo. Now let's go to set 2. Okay, this is set 1. All the notes have been given to you. You can download the PDF and you can check out the notes. Okay, all the notes have been given to you. You can download the PDF, no problem at all. Okay, now let's go to set 2. Now here they have given, let's see the 4 answers that we have to see in set 2. First is, what is IASB and what is its function? IASB full form is International Auditing and Assurance Standards Board. And they have some functions. What are their functions? Very simple to remember. I'll give you a code. The code is ARCO. The code is ARCO. Now what do you understand by ARCO? IASB will release standards on auditing. They will release standards on assurance. They will release standards on related services. You know, like services like accounting, all these, for all these also, they will release the standards. From Q, you have something called as quality control. That is your SQC1. Remember SQC1, they will release standards on quality control. And at the end, you have, that is other matters. So other related areas, other matters, they can give standards in relation to that also. So basically, you have IASB and the function of IASB. Okay. So just remember the code word ARCO. Just repeat with me. First of all, it will be standards on auditing, standards on assurance, standards on related services, standards on quality control, and standards in relation to other matters. Other matters. Simple. Correct, Santosh. You are absolutely right. SQC1 is read with SA 220. Correct. SQC1 is for the CA firm to follow by itself, and SA 220 is the quality service that the CA firm should provide. Okay, so that is why it is very, very similar. Second answer is, so this is the first answer. Second answer is advantages of auditing. Third answer is limitations of auditing. And fourth is the relationship of auditing and other disciplines. Relationship of auditing and other disciplines. Okay. Now, how do you understand this part also? Very simple. Advantages of auditing, what all it can be. Okay. So for this note, I have a song. Okay. Everybody ready for the song? Can we sing a small song? Can we sing a small song? Can we sing a small song together? Okay, let's start. See, it will go like this. It has a different tune only. See, protects financial interest, detects wastages, settles trade dispute, settles account, settles liabilities, como progo, cose control, moral check on employees, proper books by client, government license. That's it. Your answer is done. Your answer is done. Very simple to understand. Okay. What do you think? Should we do it once more? Revise it once more. What do you think? Should we revise it once more? Once more? Okay. Protects financial interest, detects wastages, settling trade disputes, settling accounts, settling liabilities, como progo, cose controls, moral check on employees, proper books by client, government license. Very simple to understand. Very simple to understand. Simple. Okay. Okay. These are the advantages of auditing. Imagine if you are able to remember songs and write in the exam. If you are able to remember songs and write in the exam, your job will be so easy, so much fun. Okay. We'll be doing more songs. We'll be doing more songs during our course, during the revision session also. Just stay tuned. Okay. So let's see. Advantages of auditing. Okay. Advantages of auditing. That is simple. Whatever I said right now, the simple answer is there. Limitations of auditing, there are mainly 2 points in this, but in the second point, no, there are many sub points which you should go through. First is limitation because of financial reporting, and second is limitation because of audit procedures. Audit procedures. Okay. So there are just 2 main areas, and inside these audit procedures, there are several other points like fraud, related party transactions, and all such points are there. Okay. At the end, you have relationship of auditing with other disciplines. Relationship of auditing with other disciplines. Here, no, you have to understand with me in a simple manner. I'll teach you in a very simplistic manner. In 10th standard, you did a subject called science. Correct? No, you did a subject called science. So I'm just writing science here. You did a subject called science. You just have to say behavioral science. You just have to say behavioral science. You just have to say behavioral science. Okay, that is one part. Then what happened is when you came to CA Foundation, you did 4 subjects. 4. Okay, see the 4 subjects which you did. You did statistics, accounting, law, economics. You did statistics, accounting, law, economics. Everybody agrees with me. You did these 4 subjects, no, in CA Foundation, didn't you? You did these 4 subjects, no, in CA Foundation, didn't you? Statistics, accounting, law, and economics. Statistics, accounting, law, economics. Okay. Now when you're in CA Interno, you are learning a subject called as financial management. Don't you agree? You are learning a subject called as financial management. You are learning a subject called as financial management. Don't you agree? Correct. And last, at the end, you have to just remember this. After clearing your CA, you will be indulging in 2 activities. That is production and processing. Production and processing. If you join a manufacturing concern, you will be joining production and processing. So how do we remember this? See this. How do we remember this now? Very simple. See this. That is first is behavioral science. Behavioral science. You have your statistics, accounting, law, and economics. Very simple. After that, you have financial management. Financial management. And at the end, you have that is a processing and production. Processing and production. Just one request to everyone. Before you write the word, before writing processing, no, in the exam, you have to write the word data. So basically, your point will be data processing. Your point will be data processing. So I'll tell you all the points now. Behavioral science when you were in 10th standard. But when you came to CA foundation, you are doing SAIL, that is statistics, accounting, law, economics. Very simple. Then in CA Inter, you are learning what? FM, that is financial management. And after clearing CA, you will be indulging in production and processing. But when you say production, you say production only. That is fine. But when you say processing, you have to say data processing. You have to say data processing. Very easy. Simple way to understand. Very easy. Simplest way to understand. What do you think? Easy to understand. Okay. Clear? Simple. Okay. Now let's see. In this question, now they have asked, see, question number 6. Question number 6. See, here they have asked inherent limitations. They have provided here inherent limitations of auditing. What have they given? Inherent limitations of auditing. Inherent limitations of auditing. Okay. Which answer will this be? Tell me which answer will this be? Inherent limitations of auditing. Tell me the number 1, 2, 3 or 4. Santosh Panda, please see carefully. 1, 2, 3 or 4. 1, 2, 3 or 4. Correct. Absolutely. The answer is what? 3, no? The answer is 3. The answer will be 3. Okay, so I am writing 3 here. Okay. Next, relationship between auditing and the law is a very close one discussed. Now, this is an ICI question. Now, understand, in the module or whichever textbook you are using, or if you are using my notes, whatever you are using, then just understand, in the exam, they can ask you the relationship between auditing and behavioral science as a short note. They can ask you auditing and statistics as a short note. Similarly, here they have asked auditing and law. Here they have asked auditing and law. Okay. So now this is basically a separate short note which is there. This is a separate short note which is there. Okay. So you have to be very careful in the exam. You have to prepare each and every short note. So auditing and behavioral science, auditing and statistics, auditing and accounts, auditing and law, auditing and economics. So like this, they can ask you the short notes also. Clear? Very simple. So this is in relation to point number 4. This is in relation to 4. Okay. Next one. I'm not reading the entire. How will we remember all the things? You have to remember the key points. Santosh, you have to remember the key points. Okay. So what you can do is go through that paragraph, mark 5 key points which are there, and just remember that. Don't try to remember the entire sentence. Okay. It will be very tough to remember. Mark 5 key important points, and then you have to write that in the exam in your own language. In your own language. Okay. Now next here they have given, see, apart from the obvious utility, there are other advantages of audit. And then they have given you explain. See, I have marked the important areas only. So can you tell me which are the, what are the advantages of auditing? Which answer is this? Perfect. Answer number 2. Perfect. Answer number 2. Awesome. Fantastic, guys. Fantastic. Answer number 2. Excellent. Next, see, they have given there are practical and legal limitations on the auditor's ability to obtain audit evidence. Explain with examples. They have given you explain with examples. Okay. So now, can you tell me limitations? What is this part? 3. Correct. And if you use the, what do you call, if you use the textbook, you will understand that there are some examples which are given in the textbook. Or if you open the module, there are some examples which are given in that. So you have to just mention those examples here. It is important for you to mention those examples here. Okay, like you can give fraud, example of fraud. You can give example of related party transaction. You can give the example of cost and benefit analysis the auditor will do. Imagine if the cost of doing the audit is more than the benefit, then the auditor will not check that item. No, because the auditor will say, why should I spend so much? Okay, so then that is again a limitation of auditing. Okay, so there are these points which are mentioned. Okay, now let's see the next. See, this is set to page 1. Page 1. So set 2 has a page 2 also. So let's see that. Now here they have given. See, in the end, again a big story. They same Bollywood story. You know Bollywood story. Girl's family, boy's family. They don't like each other, but girl and boy they want to get married. All this story you will see in Bollywood. Okay. So similarly, no, this is that story. This is that story. In the end, even you know and even I know that they both are going to get married. Even we both know that they both are going to get married. So that is this only. See, in the end, it comes to the point. What are the advantages of getting accounts audited? Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? See, what they will give is they'll try to confuse you in the exam. They will try to give a big paragraph so that you are engrossed in that paragraph. You are just focusing on that paragraph. But however, that paragraph, just read the paragraph carefully. And in the end, what they have asked, you have to focus on that. What are they asking? You have to focus on that. See, that I've given you in a separate color here. Okay. So that is what you need to identify. That is basically your number 2. That is this part, number 2. Very simple, very easy to clear. Are you finding it comfortable with me? No problem at all. Okay. Now let's see the next part. Again, see, they have given explain stating the objectives of IAASB and how it achieves those objectives. Again, this is what? This is again your answer number 1. See, answer number 1. Correct? No, answer number 1. Easy to understand, very simple. Okay, next. In case of certain subject matters, limitations on the auditor's liability. Again, see, limitations. Can you tell me limitations? Limitations was which point? Limitations was which point? Correct. So this is basically your point number 3, answer number 3 basically. Everybody very comfortable, very easy. Set 2 done. Very simple. Extremely comfortable with set 2. Okay. So in set 1, we cover 5 answers, which we have revised. In set 2, we are seeing basically 4 answers, which we just revised. So 5 answers and 4 answers. Okay. Let's go to the next part. Now let's see this. That is basically set 3. Now in set 3, I'll just explain what this is. There is something called as SQC1. Okay, it correlates to, there is a standard called as SA220, that is quality control. Okay. Now, these are basically the elements of a system of quality control. Okay. Now, to remember the elements of system of quality control, I'll tell you a movie scene. Are you ready for this movie scene? Are you ready for this movie scene? Are you ready for this movie scene? Okay. How many of y'all have watched have watched Lagan? How many of y'all have watched Lagan? Lagan, the Hindi movie. How many of y'all have watched Lagan, which is the Hindi movie? Have you seen Lagan? Okay. Amir Khan's movie. Correct. You're absolutely right. So then what happens, I'll tell you a small story. Just look at the screen. What happens there? After the Britishers lose against India in the cricket match, the Britishers go back. They go back. And in Lagan movie, Amir Khan marries his girlfriend in the village. That her name in the movie, I think, was Gauri. Okay. Now what happens is, just imagine this. In Lagan sequel, in the first scene, I am telling you the first scene of Lagan sequel, that only I know about this because I am creating the story, Now understand this. There, that Gauri, what she does is she puts a turban on Amir Khan's head because he's going to go for farming and the heat is too much. So she just wants to protect him. So she puts a turban on his head. So turban will relate to the leadership responsibility. Okay, leadership responsibility. Amir Khan, what he does is because it is the first day of farming, he tells Gauri to just put a tika on his forehead, just for good luck. Tika on his forehead, just for good luck. Okay. So that is called as ethical requirements. Simple to clear. First is turban on the head, leadership responsibilities, then ethical requirement, the tika on the forehead. Simple. Then what happens? Amir Khan goes to the farm. He has a mango farm. So there, one of his clients come and they want to buy mangoes from him. So Amir Khan, when the client comes, Amir Khan first shakes the hand of the client. Hello sir, how are you? Hope you're doing well. All these he says. So what is happening here is there is acceptance and continuance of client relationship. Okay. Now that client has come there to buy mangoes. Okay. So Amir Khan calls his assistant. He has a small boy who is his assistant. So Amir Khan tells the assistant, ki go climb the mango tree and get the mangoes. Climb the mango tree and get the mangoes. So the assistant is the human resource. The assistant is the human resource. The assistant climbs the tree and gets the mango. What is he doing? He is doing engagement performance. He is doing engagement performance. Simple. Now, before giving that mango to the client, Amir Khan first checks the mango, whether the mango is proper or not. That is basically called as monitoring. Simple. How did you find the story? Very, very comfortable. No problem at all. Can you do it once again? Once more, quickly. Okay. First is turban on the forehead. On the head. That is basically called as leadership responsibilities. Then there is tika on the forehead. That is called as ethical requirements. Perfect. Ethical requirements. Then after that, you have Amir Khan goes to the farm where the client comes. That is acceptance and continuance of client relationship. Then Amir Khan calls his assistant. That is human resources. He asks him to climb the mango tree and get the mango. That is basically called as engagement performance. And finally, Amir Khan checks the mango. That is called as monitoring. Very, very simple. Very, very easy. No problem at all. Everyone comfortable? Clear? Okay. Now let's look at the questions in relation to this. See this. As per SA 220, quality control for an audit of financial statements. Okay. Abhijit has asked for, sir, any MCQ series. Abhijit, I'll announce at the end. Okay, please wait. I'll announce at the end for sure. I'll announce regarding the plus course also. I'll also announce in relation to the MCQ series also. I promise. Okay. So first is as per SA 220, quality control for an audit of financial statements. Okay. Now here they are saying in relation to this, you have to talk about acceptance of a new engagement with an existing client. Okay. That is nothing but the auditor should obtain information considered necessary in the circumstances before accepting an engagement with a new client. So this basically relates to what? This basically relates to D. This part. This basically relates to D. Simple, easy, simple to understand this one. Everybody got this? This is in relation to acceptance of an engagement with a new client. That is basically point number D. Okay. After this, you have the firm's system of quality control should include policies and procedures addressing each element. Now see, when such questions are asked, they are mentioned here policies and procedures. Okay. Now, if you ask me, they have asked in general about each element. That is leadership responsibility, human resources, ethical requirements, client relationships, engagement performance, and monitoring. All 6. In this case, you have to write an answer on this one. You have to write an answer on elements of a system of quality control with basically all the key points of all these areas A, B, C, D, E, F. That will really help you in the examination. Clear? Okay. After that, they have given you here, see the next one. That is question number 15. Analyze and explain the emphasis of the actions of the engagement partner and the appropriate messages. Also define the engagement partner. Now, all this is given where? It is given in leadership responsibility. So, this will be point number A. All this is mentioned in leadership responsibilities. Okay. Because the engagement partner is the leader of the CA firm. The engagement partner, he is the leader of the CA firm. When you say a CA firm, it means it will contain partners, And who are these partners? These are partners who are chartered accountants who are going to do the audit. Okay. So this basically question number 15 deals with point number A. Very simple till here. Okay. Now this is page 1 of set 3. This is page 1. Let's look at page 2. Let's look at this C. Just a second. Okay. Now see, in this ethical requirements, you have 3 parts. Okay. Let me just tell you this. Just a second. Okay. In the ethical requirements, you have these three parts. See this: principles, threats to independence, and safeguards. All three are important. All three are important for the exam. All three are important. So here, what do we see? See this. First, we have the 5 types of threats. We have the 5 types of threats. That is basically, you will see that answer here, 5 type of threats to independence. One best way to learn these threats, no, you have to imagine the Bollywood actor. His name is Saif Ali Khan. Have you heard about him? Have you heard about actor Saif Ali Khan? Do you know the actor Saif Ali Khan? Yes or no? Do you know the actor Saif Ali Khan? Correct, Kareena Kapoor's husband. Correct, correct. Everybody knows Kareena Kapoor, but not Saif Ali Khan. What a joke. Okay, now understand. See what I'm trying to say. So now you have to remember a code called as SAF. Remember a code called as SAF. What is SAF? Self-interest threat. With S you have one more point, that is self-review threat. A you have advocacy threat. From I you have intimidation threat. And from F you have familiarity threats. Simple. So self-review threats, advocacy threats, intimidation threats, familiarity threats is the code that you have to remember, and that is what SEF. The code that you have to remember is SEF. Correct. Self-interest threat, self-review threat, advocacy threat, intimidation threat, and familiarity threats. Very clear, very simple till here, very, very easy, very, very comfortable. Sir, you understand all the points very well, but what to write in that point below? What to write in that point will be part of the textbook. See, I have to cover 2 chapters bullet revision. No, this is bullet revision. So if it is a normal revision or if it is a full-fledged teaching, at that time each and every point with memorizing techniques will be covering. That is in the plus course. That is in the plus course. But right now this is bullet revision. So we are just looking at each and every answer and the points with the ICAI past questions. Okay, I thought this is the most beneficial thing for you. Okay. So the answer to this is, basically the answer to this is 5 types of threats is nothing but SAF threats. Okay, SAF. So let's call this as C1, C2 and C3. So C1, C2 and C3. So this basically becomes C2. C2. Okay. See, next answer again, Bollywood movie. See, Bollywood movie from here till here, full story, full story. But at the end, they have mentioned clearly what exactly you need to write in the exam. Again, this is what? Again, this is C2. Again, this is C2. Again, this one is C2. Very simple to understand, very easy to understand. Again, this is C2. Again, they have asked you 5 types of threats. Again, they have asked you 5 types of threats. Okay. Next one. Let's see the next one. See, fundamental principles of professional ethics. Can you look at this diagram and tell me what will be the answer? Fundamental principles of professional ethics. Tell me what will be the answer. Can you tell me? Can you tell me? Leena, excellent. Abhijit, excellent. Gayatri, fantastic. Saili, Rajan, fantastic. Okay, your answer is absolutely right. It is C1. It is C1. C1. Absolutely correct. Fantastic. Okay. Fundamental principle of professional ethics, correct. What Abhijit is answering is also right. And Santosh is answering is also right. It is integrity, objectivity, independence. Okay. You have confidentiality also. Professional behavior, professional competence. Okay. Now, I'll just give you a nice code to remember. If you want to remember the principle, no, just remember a code called copy. Copy. That is C. Confidentiality, objectivity, professional competence, professional behavior, and integrity. Can we repeat it? Copy. Confidentiality, objectivity, professional competence, professional behavior, and integrity. Can we repeat it once again? Tell with me. Confidentiality, objectivity, professional competence, professional behavior, integrity. Simple, easy till here. Okay. Last question they have given you here is which information he should obtain before accepting the engagement. So now this is basically what information he should obtain. Now this is actually covered. I just want you to mark it. It is actually covered in D. See this, acceptance of client relationship. Acceptance of client relationship. So what all information should you obtain to know that the client is a good person to work with? Okay. So that is basically your answer number D. Your answer number D. Very comfortable till here, very easy. Okay. Now there are more areas. See, purpose of monitoring the compliance with quality control policies and procedures. For quality control policies and procedures, that is monitoring compliance. Can you tell me monitoring compliance? Can you tell me what is the answer to this? Monitoring compliance. Can you tell me what is the answer? Monitoring compliance. Just a second. Yeah. Monitoring compliance. Monitoring compliance. Correct. F. Point number F. Boys and girls, point number F. Point number F is the right answer. Point number F is the right answer. Easy. Okay. See the next one. See this. Now, this question is very nice. This question, I just want to mark it as star. Very nice. I'll read it for you. You will understand how ICI tries to trick you, you know. In the exam, you will start thinking that, oh, this is the answer. This is the answer. But actually, this is the answer. It will take you in this direction. But you have to take this direction, actually. Now, what is this? Let's see. The chartered accountant has the responsibility to remain independent by taking into account the context in which they practice, the threats to independence, and the safeguards available to eliminate the threats. So they have just shown you, they have just used few words, you know, threats to independence, safeguards available. So suddenly your mind is thinking, oh, they have mentioned threats, they have mentioned safeguards. Are they talking about this? Are they talking about this? Suddenly you start wondering. But see, in the end, what have they asked? In the end, they have asked, in the above context, explain the guiding principles. Explain the guiding principles. So basically, in the end, this is not the answer. This is also not the answer, but this is the answer. But this is the answer. Did you understand it properly? Did you get how ICI is asking you the question? Did you understand this part? Okay. So this is basically how ICI tricking you. ICI is tricking you. So this is basically your answer is C1. Your answer is C1. Okay, C1. Last, they have asked, write a note on the self-review threats. As I told you, there are 5 threats. Self-interest threat, self-review threats, advocacy threats, intimidation threat, and familiarity threat. Here they have asked you in relation to this self-review threat. They have asked you in relation to the self-review threat. Clear, simple, easy to understand. So this is part of what? This answer. This is part of this answer. Okay. I hope this revision is becoming very beneficial for you. Okay. We are covering all the questions that ICI has asked till now in the exam, or in the mock test paper, or in the revision test papers. If you are sitting for this lecture, and if any of your friends also want to join the lecture, please call them immediately. Please ask them to join immediately so that they are also benefited. Whoever is giving the CA inter examination, please call them. Okay. Take care. Now let's see this part. See this. Inclusions to the audit engagement letter. What are the content that should be in the audit engagement letter? Okay. Now, there is a nice tune to it. Bolo, are you ready for the song? Are you ready for the song? Audit engagement letter. Are you ready for the song? Small tune we will sing. It is not a song. It's a small tune. Okay. It's a very calming tune. Okay. We'll say this. See. We'll say this. 1 second. I'll just say this. 1 second. Okay, this word is form. So how will we say this? See this. ORID form. ORID form. ORID form. Sir, what is this song? Sir, I didn't understand, sir. What is this song? This is nothing but object. This is nothing but the objective of the auditor. What is the objective of the auditor? Then the responsibility of the auditor, and the second point is responsibility of the management. Then you have identification of the AFRF. What is the AFRF? And at the end you have expected form and content of the report. You just have to be calm and listen and just sing this tune in the examination, not loudly, in your mind. Okay, so you have to say Ori ID form, Ori ID form. Easy. Objectivity, responsibility of the auditor, responsibility of the management, identification of AFRF, that is applicable financial reporting framework, that is AFRF, and at the end you have expected form and content of the reports. Okay. Next is preconditions to audit. What all the auditor should do before starting his audit work. That is preconditions to audit. After that you have recurring audits. Recurring audit is basically, generally when we do the audit in the next year, we don't change the engagement letter. But in certain scenarios, we change the engagement letter, and those are given in this recurring audits answer. Okay, very, very important answer. At the end, you have limitation of scope. If the management tells the auditor that, boss, you cannot do this work, or boss, you cannot do this work, if the management says all these things, okay. So at that time, what will happen is the management has to, if the management puts limitation, the auditor has to decide what area to pick up. Okay. So now let's see the question answer of this part. There is a query. So lots of mnemonic you are providing. I think we may forget this or confused itself. See, I have students who have scored 70 plus in auditing, and this happens every year. Every attempt, many of my students are scoring 70 plus in audits. Now what happens is, these students know they are revising with me every time. You are learning with me for the first time. But once you revise every time, your concept will get more clearer and your answers will be much better. Okay, you will remember then, okay, this answer is this song, okay, this answer is this code. That is if you revise with me. So if you join the plus course at that time, I will be helping you exactly with this part. Okay, so that is the main, you should think about this. Now let's see this one, question number 23. Here they have given, see, before the completion of the engagement is requested to change the engagement letter. The auditor is asked to change the engagement letter before the completion of engagement. It means that the audit work is going on. Now when the audit work is going on, and at that time, the auditor is asked to change the engagement letter, where will this come? This will come in, see, this limitation of scope is there during the audit. So if we call this answer as first, this is second, this is third, this is fourth, and this is fourth A and the fourth B part. So this is basically nothing but 4B. This is 4B. The management is telling the auditor, boss, please change the engagement letter. We cannot continue with this. So the auditor, if he is not interested, then the auditor will say that, see, I cannot change this, and that answer is 4B. Simple. See the next one. An auditor who before the completion of the engagement, again the same part, see, before the completion of the engagement, is requested to change the engagement to one which provides a lower level of assurance. That means the auditor will not be happy with it. Should consider whether it is appropriate to do so. Okay. So here they are given, explain stating the factors based on which the client can request the auditor to change the engagement. The answer is the same. The answer is 4B. The answer is again 4B. Very, very comfortable. Very, very easy. Please tell me. Very, very easy. Simple. Gayatri has written, sir, if possible, chapter-wise marathon conduct kijiye na, sir. Gayatri, I'll try my best. Okay. I will talk to the respective persons and see what we can do. Okay. Sir, you will provide these slides for reference. Yes, Ritik, see, there is a PDF that you can download. You can download that PDF, and these notes are for you only. These notes are for you only, for your special purpose. You can learn this. Okay. So now let's go to the next chapter, that is chapter 2. Okay, chapter 2 is a smaller chapter. So let's see this. Now chapter 2 is nothing but what? It is nothing but, see, three things: audit strategy, audit planning, and audit program. Audit strategy, audit planning, and audit program. Simple. Okay. Now your goal is to clear the CA inter examination. So you will have a strategy for it, that I have to clear the CA inter examination. I need to ensure that I study very well. I need to ensure that I don't get distracted by my mobile phone or with a cricket match. This is your strategy. But then what is planning then? Planning is when you think that, okay, I have to study this subject within 4 or 5 days. I have to study the next subject within 5 to 6 days. That is the planning that you do. Now, what to study in that subject is called as programming. Programming is exactly, okay, morning I'll get up at 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, I'll study this part. 9:30 to 11:30, I'll study this part. That is called as what? Programming. Okay, so that is audit strategy, audit planning, and audit programming. Simple to understand. Now, see, audit plan should be made in a way to include which areas? First question is this. So what should the audit plan include? Okay. Next is the audit plan shall cover lot of points are there in this answer. So what should the audit plan cover basically? Okay. So covering will be what? It will cover the knowledge of the client business is one of the bigger areas in this. Then second, you have the internal control. Third is in relation to the audit procedures. And at the end, you have the coordination between the team members who are going to do the audit. Okay. So now there is a very important answer in this called as knowledge of client's business. Okay. So we'll look into that. Next is factors on which direction and supervision depends. That is basically how should the auditing team leader direct and supervise his team members. Simply, if I tell you in a simple example, suppose if you are a very good person, okay, and you are a very trustworthy person, so your parents won't have to direct and supervise you. Your parents won't have to direct and supervise you because they know that my child will be able to do it. Similarly, if the engagement team, the audit engagement team, if they are more qualified, then the engagement team leader will not have to direct and supervise that much. But however, imagine that the engagement team members contains members who are very weak. Very weak means they are not that good with accounting and auditing. So at that time, or they are very young. So at that time, the engagement partner, the main person who is handling the audit, will have to direct and supervise more. A simple example can be, imagine if a child is naughty, then will the parents have to direct and supervise more or direct and supervise less? Can you tell me in the chat area? If the child is naughty, then the parents will have to direct and supervise more or direct and supervise less? Correct, absolutely. So such factors are given here. Such factors are given here. Such factors are given here. Simple. Now, next is planning planning on continuous basis. Now, when you make a study plan, sir, for CA Inter, I have made a plan. I want to cover these many subjects in these many days. But tell me very honestly, don't you keep changing the plan? After 10 days, you feel, oh, this part is also left. Oh, I have to cover this also. Chalo, let me make a new plan. Don't you do that? Sir, I do that only, sir. So that is my main hobby now. Clear? Easy to understand. Clear. So that is planning is what? Planning is not a one-time activity. Planning is not a one-time activity. Planning is a continuous activity. You have to keep planning. You have to keep planning. Clear? At the end, you have benefits of audit plan. Benefits of you take whichever plan. There are, when you make a plan, you get a lot of benefits out of it. No? For example, your work will be completed on time. You will be able to cover the important areas. Whatever problematic areas are there, you will be able to focus on that. If you're doing some work in a team, it helps in better coordination because you know which person will do what work. So all these are the benefits of planning. Okay. So simple answer. Now let's see the answer. See this. Benefits of adequate planning. Can you tell me which answer is this? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Can you tell me which answer is this? Benefits of adequate planning. Benefits of adequate planning. Excellent. Answer number is 5. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Excellent. Okay. Next is, see this. The auditor should plan his work to enable him to conduct an effective audit in an efficient and timely manner. Plans should be based on knowledge of the client's business. Which is this part? Which is this part? Correct. It is part of 2. That is, I am just writing here 2A because this audit plan shall cover includes 4 things. It includes your knowledge of the client's business. Second point is internal control. Third is audit procedures. And fourth is basically that is your coordination. That is your coordination. Simple, easy to understand. Easy to understand. Simple. Okay. Next is the adequate planning benefits. See this, adequate planning benefits. Again, tell me the answer fast. Adequate planning benefits. See, the answer is answer number 5. The answer is answer number 5. See, all these are the past ICAI questions from the mock test papers, revision test papers, past papers of ICAI. And you are answering it so well. You are answering it so fast. Okay. So you have to just ensure that and just keep the confidence that, okay, I know the answer. Just that I have to just think from which part the answer has come from. Actually, you know the answer. See, you are able to answer it properly. See the next one. Planning is not a discrete phase of an audit. Discrete means secretive phase. Rather a continual and iterative process. Can you tell me which answer is this? Which answer is this? Correct. See, answer number 4. Awesome, awesome, fantastic. Fantastic, boys and girls, fantastic. Look at the last question also. See, this question is just extended and they have made one more question out of it. Question number 4 is just extended. See this. Planning is not a discrete phase of an audit, but rather a continual and iterative phase process. And all these things, again, they have given the same thing. Again, the same thing. And then they have asked you the answer. Again, the answer will be what? Answer will be answer number 4. Answer number 4. Fantastic. Very, very simple. Very, very manageable. Please tell me. Very, very simple. Very, very manageable. Clear? Okay. Let's go to the next page and see what they have asked. See this, benefits of planning again. So you come to know that benefits of planning is a very important answer. Benefits of planning is a very, very important answer. See how many times it has come. So again, this will be what? 5. This will be again what? 5. Perfect. No, 5. Next, they have given you, see this. Plan should be based on knowledge of the client's business. This is the main part. This is the main part. Can you tell me which answer was this? Planning includes the knowledge of the client business. Can you tell me what will be the answer to this? What will be the answer to this? Planning includes knowledge of the client business. Santosh Panda, see carefully. See carefully. The answer will be 2A. The answer will be 2A. That is knowledge of client business. No. Knowledge of client business. This is called KOCB. Knowledge of client's business. Knowledge of client's business. Okay. See the next one now. See the next one. Plan should be made in a way to cover acquiring knowledge of the client's accounting systems, policies, and internal control procedures. Again, what will be the answer? Again, they have given knowledge of the client's business only. Again, it is knowledge of the client's business. Again, knowledge of the client's business. Okay. But in this answer, because they have mentioned plan should be made in a way to cover, and they have mentioned knowledge of the client business, they have mentioned policies, internal control procedures. Here, no, you can include even this answer. You can include the entire 2 part and not just 2A. You can include the entire 2 part. Are you understanding this? Okay. So all points of 2 can come here. All points of 2 can come here. Very simple to understand. All points of 2 can come here. Okay. Okay. Let's see the next one. Let's see the next one now. Engagement partner of audit firm MKC. And in the end, see again, Bollywood story. See, entire Bollywood story they have said. Boy's family, girl's family don't like each other, but boy and girl want to marry. All these things is going on. And in the end, they have given the main point, that is benefits of adequate planning. So tell me, what will be the answer here? What will be the answer? Correct. That is point number 5. Your teaching so good, please consider point if possible. Consider which point? Which point should I consider? Gayatri, are you talking about the lectures? Yes, I'll consider that point definitely. Don't worry. Fast track. Okay. I'll think about it. 100% Gayatri, I'll consider that. Okay. Now, next is plans should be further developed and revised as necessary. Plans should be further developed and revised as necessary. Okay. So, what does this mean now? Plans should be further developed and revised. It means that you have to continuously keep revising the plan. You have to continuously keep revising the plan. Can you tell me which answer is this? Can you tell me which answer is this, students? Tell me. Please explain what all points to cover in question number 8. Okay, Ritik, batata hu. I'll tell you this. Don't worry. Okay, this will be point number 4. Okay. Ritik, in this point, basically, if you see our notes or if you see any textbook, there is an answer on audit plan shall cover what all things. It includes basically 4 main points. It includes first, knowledge of client's business. Second is basically internal controls. Third is basically audit procedures. And at the end, you have coordination. So these are the 4 points which are basically there. Simple, easy to understand. Okay, okay. Next is, okay, so I'll just explain. See, when I teach, at that time, we'll be doing some special diagrams in relation to this. So whenever I say these points, suddenly you will be like, you know what, your head will go like, I'll just explain to you. You will be like, okay, sir, in this is the main diagram that I teach. So, sir, in this, there is knowledge of client business. Sir, this is basically the internal control part. Sir, then the auditor will do his audit procedures to reach the reasonable assurance level. So you'll be learning in this manner. With me. So then you will understand, okay, the first point, the audit plan should cover what? It should cover knowledge of client business, internal controls, audit procedures, because this is the main auditor's work. And finally, you will have the last point, that is while doing all these things, the team has to show something called as coordination. So a student who has learned from me will be immediately able to say, okay, these are the 4 points in this, because there is a simple diagram that helps you to remember these points. Okay, simple. So that is in relation to this. Okay. Now next point is, see this, knowledge of client business, and they have just elaborated on that, and then they have said substantiate with the help of examples. That examples you will get in the textbooks. Okay, that is not a problem. But they have asked you here also the 2A part. 2A. Now see how many times this part is coming. See, 2A. Then you have here also, you have 2A. So this becomes a very important area for your examination. Very, very important area. ICI has asked this many times. Again, one more point. See this, 5. So again, you understand that, okay, benefits of audit plan becomes a very important answer for the examination. Clear? Very simple till here. Very easy. Okay. Now let's go to set 2. And let's see what set 2 says. Set 2, they have first given here, what does the overall audit strategy cover? Okay, so audit strategy, for you to become clear CA inter, what is the strategy that you are adopting? Similarly, auditor will also have his own strategy to get to his goals. What are the goals of the auditor? The same thing, that is reasonable assurance, to reach the reasonable assurance level. And second is to do the audit following the standards on auditing. These are the 2 areas. Next is, how does audit strategy assist the auditor? This is the second part that they have given here. And last is documentation of the audit plan. They have given here documentation of the audit plan. So these are the 3 things. Okay. Now first answer, see what they have given here is discuss stating the process of establishing the overall audit strategy that would assist the auditor to determine the key matters. So basically here they are talking about how does the audit strategy help the auditor. That is basically your answer number. If this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Here they have asked about answer number 2. That is, how does the overall audit strategy assist the auditor? Simple, very easy to understand, very clear. See the next one. The auditor shall document the overall audit strategy, the audit plan, and any significant changes made during the audit engagement to the overall audit strategy or the audit plan and the reasons for the changes. Again, this is changes. and this mainly deals with the documentation part. So this is basically answer number 3. I hope you are able to identify the answers with me. Okay, that is very important. In the exam, what happens is that a student generally knows, he has studied, the student generally knows audit, but what happens in that exam situation, the student is unable to clearly pinpoint, okay, this is the right answer. The student is not able to find. Okay, Gayatri has asked, sir, why not point number 1? Because Gayatri, see, they have asked about audit documentation. They have asked about, see this word, audit documentation. They have asked about audit documentation. That is why. Clear? Okay. And if you check the module, this documentation of audit plan, that answer also includes the documentation of the audit strategy. This answer, the content also includes the documentation of audit strategy. That is why this part, and this part will all be included in this area. Okay. Okay. Let's go to set 3. Set 3 is very simple. See, constructing the audit program, designing the audit program. When you actually develop the audit program, this is when you are thinking of making the audit program, that is constructing in your mind. This is developing the audit program actually. Then you have the advantages of the audit program, and finally you have the disadvantages of the audit program. Now the questions that have come in the exam is C, construction of the audit program. Straightforward question. Answer number 1. Then you have developing an audit program. That is nothing but answer number 3. Correct? No, developing. See the word developing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is basically developing an audit program. Next one is basically what is the purpose of constructing an audit? That is again your answer number 1. Purpose. What is the purpose? Okay, what is the purpose of constructing the audit? Okay. See, Gayatri, they have not given here, they have not used the word advantages. They have just said the purpose. Why do you conduct the audit program? Why do you need to construct the audit program? They have asked that part. Okay. Finally, they have asked here, see this, audit program is designed to provide what? To help of examples of evidence in respect of sales. So they have asked you in respect of sales, but mainly they have asked in relation to the designing part. Now, designing part is covered where? Just see, point number 1, no. Point number 2, yes. So this will be point number 2. Point number 2. Very easy to understand, very, very manageable. Are you finding it very, very comfortable? Yes or no? Finding it very, very easy. Okay. So the last part. Okay, that is factors affecting materiality benchmarks. Materiality include which information? Benchmarks includes which information? Now this part is in relation to materiality part. Okay, and last in the end you have performance materiality. Now only 2 things have been asked from this part till now in the ICI material. Okay, that is factors that may affect the identification of appropriate benchmarks. That is basically answer number 1. This one. So there is a simple code to it. It's called WOFUN. WOFUN is basically what? That is volatility. You have ownership and the way it is financed and the way the organization is financed. You have then the next point that is called financial statement elements, like your profit figure, you have your debt figure, you have your equity figure, all these areas. Then where does the user attention basically look at? That is again the profit figures, at the sales figures. That is where the user sees, okay, how much the company has sold, how much is the company paying the salary to its employees. Then finally you have the nature of the entity, the life cycle, where the product is in its life cycle, which the company produces. So this is the answer. The code is WOFUN. Volatility, ownership and the way it is financed. Okay. Then you have financial statement elements. Okay. Then you have users attention, and finally you have nature of the entity and the life cycle of the products. Okay. Volatility was the last point of ICI material. That is okay. Even if you change the points, here they will not cut the marks. Don't worry. They will not cut the marks if you change the point order. Don't worry. Okay. Finally, see, a short note is given on performance materiality. So that is basically this point. Now that covers your entire revision part. okay, of chapter number 1 and 2, that is bullet revision. In 1 hour, we covered all the answers. Okay. In exactly 20 minutes, I'll be starting with the chapters 3 and 4. Do join me in that link. That will be very, very beneficial for you. Students who are interested in taking the plus course, remember that the plus course will start from 5th of July and you can use the code Yeshas for the plus course. Okay. I wish you all the best. See you within 20 minutes. Take care. Bye. See you.